Root canal, party joke or simple remedy? We've all heard the chilling words, I had a root canal. It's usually said with dread at a party or by a stand-up comedian. Our response could easily be a cold shiver or a nodding sense of sympathetic commiseration. Well, for the next few minutes, I hope to bring you some understanding and appreciation of the upside of root canal. Now, in the first place, root canal is not really a procedure or a treatment. The root canal is a part of all teeth. It's the center of the tooth. It's hollow. It houses the soft tissue that's commonly known as the pulp. The pulp's alive. It has blood vessels, cells, and especially nerves. The pulp that has the nerves in the pulp basically send one signal and one signal only: pain. If hot, cold, traumatic, anything that you stimulate the tooth with will tell the brain pain. If you leave the tooth alone and you don't stimulate the pulp, you're going to be a peaceful and happy camper. Now, if the pulp is stimulated too much by decay or traumatic injury or intense temperature change, and it's done too long and too hard, the result will be a dead tooth. Now, the good news is if the tooth dies, it'll no longer have pain. It's dead after all. But the bad news is a dead pulp will be full of infection. It'll get gangrenous and get very infected. It will show a swelling and pressure and pain. It'll be very irritated. The infection will spread to the surrounding bone, and then we'll have to sterilize the area to eliminate the infection and to perhaps extract the tooth. And that's the only way to eliminate the pain and infection? I don't think so. A better way to solve the problem is to open the tooth up, relieve the pressure, clean out the root canal, and remove all the rotten, dead, and infected debris. After the root canal space has been thoroughly disinfected and shaped properly, then a sterile and soothing filling material can be placed in the tooth. The infection and pain are gone and almost never return. When this root canal filling is done properly, the body will heal and accept the tooth as completely normal, which allows you to keep your tooth rather than having it extracted. Now, understanding this is simple, but accomplishment, that's kind of difficult for several reasons. One of the big reasons we avoid having root canals done is simply fear. Our natural fear of pain drives us away from treatment. But think about it for a minute. The pain of a root canal is usually there before treatment's even begun. Once the treatment is started and the tooth is opened and the pressure eliminated, the tooth is dead. There's no discomfort at all. Endodontic treatment, which by the way is the scientific term for root canal treatment, relieves the pain, and most of the time there's no pain at all after that. Another reason we tend to avoid root canal treatment is expense. Now, I'm going to admit it, the cost of endodontic treatment is considerable due to its technical and time-consuming nature, but the chances of success for root canal treatment is very good, 95% or better, and the salvaging and the restoring of a natural tooth is significantly less costly than extraction and replacement with an artificial tooth or an implant and a crown. And of course, prevention is the cheapest alternative of all. Well, there's another concern a lot of people have, and that's inconvenience. Now, let's face it, an emergency never occurs at a convenient time. That, after all, is the basic definition of an emergency. Endodontic therapy will require more than one visit to a dentist, and sometimes it'll have to be done by a specialist. So the treatment of a root canal therapy, besides the treatment of the actual elimination of the infection, there's going to have to be restoration of the tooth too. The restoration of the tooth with a crown and probably internal reinforcement will be necessary to accomplish to restore the tooth and bring it back to health. A common mistake most people make is to have the root canal filling done but fail to have it restored. If that happens, a few months later, the tooth will be lost due to new decay or even breakage due to chewing because it hasn't been reinforced. The money invested and time invested in doing the root canal will be lost due to incomplete treatment. Now, another reason, I hate to admit, but one of the reasons why we avoid root canal treatment is ignorance and gullibility. I'm sorry to say, but we humans, myself included, are an impressionable lot. We love humor, especially if we don't understand something. The stand-up comedian lives by this trait, and he uses it to make a living. It's easy to assign blame or ulterior motives to a situation if you're uninformed. We only have to look at the media and the politician this election season to recognize our vulnerability in this area. The answer, of course, is to become informed and take the initiative rather than to wait for the inevitable crisis. Choose your dentist and your elected officials wisely. Easier said than done, I'm afraid. Endodontic treatment therapy is simple to understand. It's a process of saving a natural tooth and eliminating pain and infection. We open the tooth up to relieve the pressure and remove the rotting pulp. We disinfect and fill the space with a clean, sterile, and soothing filling material, and then we return the tooth to proper function and cosmetics by restoring it with a crown to protect it and make it valuable again to eat with and smile. This treatment entails considerable cost, but those of you with dental insurance will be relieved of much of that burden. In any case, the expense of this treatment is a bargain compared to the alternatives of implants or tooth loss or non-replacement.
Right.
Now I hope that you better understand this once dreaded root canal. Equipped with this information, will you embrace the needed action? Would you or your friends and family that need root canal go and have it done? I hope so. You may still laugh at the jokes, and perhaps armed with this knowledge, appreciate the irony of our human predicament. Now, as far as what to make of this campaign rhetoric and the media, well, your opinion is probably no better than mine. But laughter is still better than chaos and rioting, or for that matter, midnight toothaches. Thank you. I remain Dr. Stephen Hook, dentist. Thank you. Check our website, www.dochook.com. I appreciate your time and your effort in listening to me.